session.
Present.
Present. All right. No, it's really good to see everybody here today. Welcome to Positivity and Support in the Cosplay Community. My name is Jeremy. I also go by Strife the Word, which is my cosplay name. I've been in the community now for about a couple years or so. It's really good to see everybody here that showed up. Thank you guys again for coming out to this panel. It's still fairly fresh, fairly new. I actually did this panel at Acon Anime Fest. It's kind of something I've been just starting new, just to see what I can do to spread the positive vibe in the community. And William, if you want to go ahead and introduce yourself. Yeah.
Sure. Hello, I'm William. I am also known as Tiny Little Man Cosplay, because I am a tiny little man. I've been in the community for a few years as well. Started off cosplaying Assassin's Creed and then just kind of grown into what it is now. I don't know what it is, it's just my own thing. But Jeremy asked me to come on the panel at A-Fest, and here I am again, so.
Yeah, and mainly this panel, what it really is about is just, why we need positive vibes in the community. I mean, as we know, sometimes no matter what kind of community you're in, there could be always like negative vibes or just things going around that are kind of just making like your favorite hobby feel unpleasant. So I actually had started this panel based on a group. Come on in, guys. How's it going? I basically just started this group. I had started a Facebook group called Come As You Are, which what it stood for is just anybody that had like any kind of issues, whether cosplay, you don't cosplay. It was just an open group for people that were going through issues such as depression, anxiety, anything you can think of, just to kind of like have like an open place to vent, because I just wanted to make everybody feel at home here. And the main thing is too was like cosplay's done so much for me. I wanted to give back to the community in any way I can. It's helped me with a lot of my own issues that I struggle with day to day, especially because I found out with a lot of these issues that people go through every day, they're a lot more common than you think. It's just pretty crazy. So I kind of went through a very vital phase of my life last year, where I just kind of realized there were so many issues that were stemming from within myself that had stifled my relationships with people, friends, family, loved ones. And what I wanted to do was just try to get past that and create a support group, basically showing that, hey, you don't have to go through what I went through. We're all here to support each other, and just to have fun at cons, and just have fun cosplaying. So I'm gonna hand it over here to William too. We're gonna go over our first topic real quick. So if you want to take over from me, sir.
Yeah, for sure. So basically, in the cosplay community, it's really, a lot of people have fears about cosplaying certain characters or just cosplaying at all. But really, cosplay is for everyone. People always kind of like, oh, I don't have the correct body type for this character, or, I don't look anything like that character, but that's okay. It's like, just cosplay. That's actually like the number one thing I hear from all of my non-cosplay friends that are interested in it. They're like, oh, I don't look like anyone. I don't have anyone that I can cosplay. I'm like, just cosplay anyone you want. Like, it really doesn't matter as long as you're having fun and you are the character, Like, I want to cosplay Superman. Superman's not black, but that's okay. Yeah, well, I guess he is in Earth 32. But, but I wouldn't be Earth 32 version. I'd be Earth Prime Superman. You know what I mean? So, like, it doesn't matter what you look like as long as you are having fun and enjoying what you do. I saw the One Punch Man in the back. That's actually one of the cosplays I want to do. I don't want to cut my hair though. But, I was like, I could do that. Be like a, One Punch Man going through his midlife crisis, and that's why I'm going to keep the beard. But, cosplay is for everyone. So definitely, anyone that you have that's a friend that's like, oh, I'm interested in cosplay, but I don't have anyone that I look like, just cosplay anyone. Who's your favorite character, like from any genre? What's your favorite movie? Oh, it's this movie. Okay, who's your favorite character? That. Cosplay that character. It doesn't matter if you look like them or not, I know a lot of people definitely kind of go through a lot of like depression, anxiety, sometimes you get like a little bit of negativity in the cosplay side. So let's kind of talk about that a little bit. Like hate shaming and stuff like that. So I'm friends with a lot of cosplayers. To like the more famous cosplayers to the ones that are just starting out, and I have seen it all. I've seen people completely try to tarnish other people's careers. I've seen people, building things up. And honestly, it's kind of sad that the cosplay community even has points where we're tearing each other down, And we really got to get to a point where we understand that no one, owns a character. I used to cosplay Assassin's Creed Ezio Auditore. And I used to get so upset when I would see other ones, and I don't know why. I just would be like, no, this is my character. Why are they cosplaying it? They could cosplay any of the other assassins, but obviously it's their favorite character too. And so I got to a point where I was like, it's okay. And then I wound up starting an Assassin's Guild, and it's really cool. But go ahead.
I was just say. How many times, and you don't have to raise your hand if you want, and by the way, we have this open mic here. If you guys want to share something with us, by all means, feel free to do. You're not required to, it's just, we want to also have some Q&A and feedback, but how many, you can raise your hand if you want, if not, or you want to just nod your head, it's fine. How many times have you been insulted or picked on for the character that you've picked, for cosplaying? Just whether it could be, oh, hey, you're not the right race, you're not the right body type, stuff like that, that is not okay, because we're all here to have fun, and the last thing you need to do at a con is have to deal with stuff. Stuff that we have to already deal with from our day-to-day lives. It's just, it's all kind of, and just like what William said, you just, don't worry about if somebody else, this person cosplays it better than I do. Have fun. You're there to have fun, and just do it the way that you want to do it. Put your own flair to it. There's nothing wrong with 50 Saitamas or 10 Marios or 15 Ryus or 3 Green Rangers. There's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. So, just go out there and kick ass, really. Has anybody here? The other topic I was gonna go to real quick. What has cosplay helped you with? If you guys want to share by any means, go ahead.
Getting in shape.
Getting in shape? Yeah, that's definitely a good reason.
Health.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, go ahead.
Expressing myself.
Express myself. That's another very good reason too. Me personally, it's helped me with a lot of issues. I got picked on a lot growing up. I always say the worst years of my life from when I was in 6th grade and 10th grade. Anything after that, I feel like I was finally comfortable in my own skin as far as being in school. It's helped me with my depression, my anxiety, all the other stuff that I've dealt with too, and I'm sure you've gone through stuff like that yourself, sir.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. I see on Facebook a lot of people posting post your glow up kind of things. Well, cosplay is the reason why I didn't glow up. I was definitely super nerdy, got picked on all the time, and then I started cosplaying, and it was cool. Now I'm in the in crowd, and and so cosplay has definitely boosted my self-confidence. Made me feel more comfortable, made me feel like I actually have people that like me and care about me, and so it's definitely a family.
Yeah, for sure. One of the other topics I was going to bring up too is just another kind of like what I was saying earlier. The main reason I was also we wanted to host this panel is the negativity in general. I know it's almost kind of like a point of reinforce at this point, but man, is there a lot of negative stuff going on right now. I have to even bring personal experiences of my own into this, but when I recruited him to a panel, there was a whole bunch of backlash. I hate to even say it, he had several racial slurs thrown against him. I don't even get why people are like that. Just we're trying to promote positive vibes in the community. It's just crazy. You definitely don't want to. Perception's everything. You definitely don't want to overstep any kind of boundaries or say anything that could be backfired on you. Because people with social media nowadays, it's so easy to get things twisted. Especially with Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I actually had a personal experience. I had brought this up at the panel I did. This panel I did at ACON. I had one person actually insulted my cosplay lineup because I happened to be cosplaying Green Ranger, which is, some of you guys may have known, it was my staple for quite a long time, almost 2 years. So this person had pretty much had you know, just blasted like, oh, he's actually doing something other than Green Ranger for once, LOL. Like, you just, like, you never know, with, you know, text messaging and social media, it's so much harder to convey what you're really trying to, express your feelings to the other person. It's just, you really just gotta watch out and watch what you say, especially with, creative people as well. I mean, we're all creative people in here. Sometimes we're a little more, I guess, open to our emotions, especially when we're trying to express ourselves through, you know, whether it's art, music, drawing, film, cosplay. You know, it's just, you definitely just gotta be careful, so.
On the topic of, you know, like, just kind of being careful and, you know, promoting positive vibes, whenever I see anyone cosplaying anything, and like I remotely know what it is, even if I don't know what it is, I always tell them, whoa, like, you look amazing, you know, because even that little thing just completely, you know, makes them feel incredible, you know? It brightens their day, and then, you know, you can see someone that, you know, doesn't have a lot of experience in cosplaying, and when you're like, wow, you know, you look really great, their whole stance changes, you know, they're like, oh, thank you, you know, and, you know, you kind of see them trot off with, like, confidence, and, you know that the entire weekend, they're gonna, you know, have that confidence of feeling amazing, and so just a little compliment goes a long way, you know. Like, I definitely was not as into cosplay as I used to be, or as I am now, and my outfit, I used to cosplay an assassin. Like, I look back on it, I'm like, wow, okay. Like, but Ray Parks, the actor that plays Darth Maul, when I met him 6 years ago, I was walking by in this, you know, pretty much just rags of red and white, and he's like, whoa! And I'm like, looking around, I'm like, what's he talking about? And he's like, no, you, come here. And I'm like, okay. I walk over, he's like, you look amazing. I'm like, wait, what? And I'm like, you know, Darth Maul thinks I look cool, and that entire thing, because that was the first time I ever cosplayed, and so that entire thing is what made me decide to go further into cosplay. So you never know what stage someone's in and how your compliment can actually push them to make it, you know, a lifestyle choice, so.
Yeah, it was definitely a culture shock for me when I went to my first con. It sounds crazy because it was like, it's a pretty big con. It's the longest running anime convention in the U.S. My first convention ever in 2013 was A-Con in Dallas. So yeah, D-Town anyway. So you know, as I was saying earlier, I grew up in a small town. Like the town I'm from, which is the same town I live in now, in Goliad, it's less than 2,000 people. My graduating class was 120. So, you know, being with like one of the only nerds in the school, I mean, it was very hard for me to identify with, you know, people growing up. So, you know, I made my first road trip all the way up to Dallas by myself, and like, you know, I remember like leaving like at 5 o'clock in the morning to get there at a decent time because I didn't know what to expect. And it was just, as he was saying, like, you know, I had very simple cosplays. Like Ness was like my primary cosplay I brought up, and like, you know, it was just, I think, yeah, it was just crazy. Like people were like, it's just so, like the convention atmosphere is just so amazing because like so many people from all kinds of walks of life can bond on similar interests, and that's what I've always liked about, you know, the cosplay community in general. As he was saying earlier, just like compliments go a long way, you know, whether like, hey, your Apollo Justice is really great, you know, I love your Saitama, the Sailor Scouts in the back, you know, it's, you never really know like what that can really do for somebody, because you know they might just be hell in a day. Like this morning, actually, I was about ready to leave the convention after being here for 30 minutes because there was like a lot of confusion with the registration and whatnot. So, and then, you know, somebody just walked by and just recognized who I was and said, hey man, like I love your Adam cosplay, and it was just really cool. Does anybody have any questions before we kind of start shifting topics or anything? So, or any experiences at all you want to share? Like, don't be shy. I mean, we got plenty of time, and if there's anything you want to talk about, feel free to do so. Good?
Definitely would love to hear from you guys. So.
Yeah, I mean, definitely, because there's no judgment here. You know, it's everything just in between us, like this 1 hour. So, anyway, the main thing too is kind of shifting gears on the next topic. Kind of like what we've talked about already before, is on how to support each other in the cosplay community. as I was saying before, a compliment can do so many things for you. A lot of the reasons too that I found like, I was kind of easy to make friends, at least for me. It's just, you know, when you compliment somebody, it kind of opens up a world of, you know, you kind of invite to like conversation. It's like very easy to start a conversation like, you know, hey, your prompt was really good. Did you make everything yourself? And then it just kind of goes everything from there. You know, it's just awesome. I remember. I'm trying to think of an experience right now. I remember actually meeting this guy this year at Ami Matsuri. You know, we just started, because we did this huge Ninjetti group. We did the full 7 colors from the original 1995 Power Rangers movie. So that was pretty awesome. And then I think it was, how many Spider-Man movies?
I think we had, I think it was just 4 of us. I think we had 3 Peter Parkers and then me as Miles Morales.
Yeah, it was definitely like a crossover of sorts. So and at that point we just all were just like chilling and hanging out, just taking pictures and stuff like that. So it's just
yeah, it was awesome. I remember one of the pictures that we took. Us Spider-Man did, you know, the morphin pose, and the Rangers all got in the Spider-Man poses. It was awesome. I'm still looking for that picture. So if you guys see it, like,
I can send it to you. I
I'm
have
glad
it.
somebody saved it.
Yeah. Right there, and she was the pink one.
Yeah.
She actually made this. So shout out to Abby, by the way.
Well, hello.
So,
Meet that picture.
yeah.
But yeah, it was really fun. Good to see you again.
For sure. So, how many of you guys have formed like countless friendships from, you know, similar experiences like that, or anything memory you want to share? I love to hear it. So I love hearing convention stories. So, yeah, go ahead.
Last few years, I went. Now you see a few of them out there, but I had an inflatable Pikachu costume.
Oh yeah.
I was making kids' day, man. I was in one spot for 3 hours. I moved for San Antonio, Alamo City Comic Con.
Mm-hmm.
I was here 5 hours, and I moved 100 yards.
Wow.
And me and my daughter had to switch. Well, I had to stop a fist fight too.
Really?
So a guy ran up. He was real enthused. He ran up and hugged me, but he cut the line that was formed, and he ended up popping.
Oh.
So luckily I got with the cosplayer later, one of the female cosplayers, and got a sewing kit and sewed it up real quick.
That's good.
But the guy that cut the line made the guy that was next up in line, his kids cry. Because I had to get out of the costume, and that guy was about to beat up the other guy, and they were going at it and cussing at each other, and I had to break them up.
Dang. Well, hey man, you're a true superhero then. So, right.
But it was cool, like when you go like that, and you see like people with disabilities come up and they freak out, and you go to them, so they don't have to come to you. That's pretty cool. Like,
Yeah.
you know, someone in a wheelchair, someone handicapped or disabled that can't get to you, you make your way to them.
No, yeah.
That
for
makes
sure.
their day and stuff.
Yeah, actually, I got a similar story with Abby over here too, because if it wasn't for her and Joe, I would have probably never done anything Green Ranger related. And it's so crazy that like you really don't think what kind of impact that any kind of character that you cosplay will have on somebody. Because I remember like the first time, and I mean it still gets me every time because it's just kids see Power Rangers and they freak out. Like when a kid like stopped me for the first time and just wouldn't like. Kid was like hugging me nonstop and wouldn't let go. It was just, it's amazing because like, I mean, I've seen other cosplayers too, and it sucks to like even say this sometimes, but like they won't even like get down for the kid or like just ignore the kid. Like, it's like, the kid's just trying to have fun. Like, I mean, how would you feel if you like got rejected by your childhood hero, It's always good to like, do stuff like that, it's always good to make somebody's day. I think that's also another reason why I cosplay so much, is just like if I can put a smile on somebody's face, like I'm happy, so.
Yeah. When I cosplay, I debuted my Miles Morales cosplay at Anime Matsuri when we met. And after the con, me and Jeremy Seth Caldwell, the guy that does cosplay with me, we did a video for my Spider-Man, but before we went to the park next to the convention center, and there's like all these families and stuff, and I was dressed in my normal clothes, so I went to the bathroom, changed in my Spider-Man suit, and I walked out, and holy crap, it was the greatest reaction I've ever had. Like, all the kids were like, "Oh my God, Spider-Man!" And like even like grown-ups would come up to me like, "Oh my God, I watched all your shows and I read all your comics. I'm a big fan." And I was just like, like in my brain I was like, but I'm not real, But to them I was, and so it just was just really good to see all of those faces, just such big smiles at a character. And honestly, at that point, I was like, all right, Spider-Man's my favorite cosplay. Like, I'm gonna do this forever. And I think one of my biggest reactions was this little girl. She kept saying hello to me as I was walking by. She's like, "Hi, bye," and I walked 1,000 yards away, and she was still looking at me like, "Bye, Spider-Man." And I was like, that is the cutest thing ever. And honestly, that's what cosplay is about, is bringing those smiles, bringing that love and that hope to people, and just kind of making dreams come true. A lot of people do it for the Make-A-Wish Foundation or the Dell Children's Hospital. They go and they cosplay superheroes and go and see kids, because a little bit of hope goes a long way. And I don't know, that's for me what keeps me cosplaying.
I've done that a few times that me and my daughter go out to parks. Every once in a while in my Pikachu costume, and we take turns. All right, you get this party, and we'll go out and see who's at a Pikachu party, Pokemon party, and we just pop up and surprise the party. Everyone freaks out.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I actually had the privilege to do a birthday party. It was cool one time, and I had to leave. And so, I think probably the most thing just to not try to cry in the helmet was, he's like, where the kid was like, where are you going? I was like, well, I have to go save the city now. And he gave me a hug. He's like, just don't let the bad guys get my mom. And I was just like, oh man, it's so hard not to have that helmet fog up. It was just something else. But yeah, the next kind of topic I wanted to shift is how to give constructive criticism and know when to give it. Because how many times have you been at a convention, you're just doing your own thing, and it's like, hey, I like your cosplay, but your wig sucks. Why would you even
just at me next time, man?
Yeah, so yeah, it's go ahead, man. For me, I feel like the appropriate time to give constructive criticism is only when somebody asks. Somebody asks is generally somebody will ask me hey, you made this part of the costume, how would you do that? At that point, I would probably give the criticism, because, you can just really kind of just kill somebody's vibe by saying, hey, just, because if that person would want your advice, I'm sure they would ask you for it, so, definitely.
Yeah, when I first started wearing cloaks with my outfits, one of my friends, just because it was what was it? I think it was a silk cloak, so but really cheap material. And she was like, oh, ew, why are you wearing that material with your outfit? And I'm just like, well, it looks nice, I like the way it flows, and kind of talking it up. And she's like, ew, get better material. And I was just like, okay. I did get better material, but that's not the point. The point is that it made me feel terrible, and I actually took off the cloak and didn't wear it for the rest of the Renaissance Fair that we're at. But, I've had people come up and they'll be dressed in Assassin's Creed stuff, and they're like, oh, I really like your armor. How did you do it? And I didn't make this, first off. I have a leathersmith that does all my work for me. But I'm like, oh, here's where you can get your resources. If you want to get this, I don't ever be like, oh yeah, your stuff is terrible. But always give a helping hand, never tear anyone down.
Yeah, it's definitely because I'm sure at one point you were in the same position, asking for hey, how did you make this or anything like that. And even now, I'm still learning myself. I'm still teaching myself how to sew and make armor. I'm sure if you ask, unless they happen, unfortunately, like William said, to be really, really snobby, I'm sure anybody would be able to say, well, I used craft foam for this piece of the armor, or I got this at Joann's, or hey, I got this fabric at Walmart and I found it on sale. So, just try to be positive and help as much as you can. So. One thing that's also very, very important is, photo taking. It sounds crazy even bring this up, but how many times have you guys been caught in a photo where you're just sitting down or you're eating and you're just trying to I'm sure everybody in here experienced that, right, at some point or another. So you definitely want to ask, first and foremost, like just say, hey, do you mind if I take your picture real quick? And be respectful. Just if they're busy or they're like, hey, my armor's falling apart, or I'm actually in a hurry. Just respect that. You'll probably catch them on later that day. But yeah, definitely just make sure that you ask, of course, with permission. Because I guess I could understand if they're doing like possibly maybe a candid photo of like a convention, but be respectful if the person's sitting down or if the person's eating, just whatever that they're doing to just be mindful of that. So.
On the same token, as cosplayers, like, don't be rude when people are like, "Can I take your picture?" If you're busy, be like, "Oh, not right now. I'm kind of tired." Explain, but I won't be like, "Oh, no, like, go away." Like, I've seen that happen. People are like, "Oh, can I take your picture?" Like, no, and it's like, "Oh, okay." Like, sorry. So just definitely communicate very well. Like, communicate with love. And just basically treat people how you want to be treated. On the same token of if you want to take someone's picture, ask them. They say no, that's okay. But just be polite about it.
Yeah, for sure. And definitely too, when you're taking a picture with somebody, especially if they're, regardless, if they're wearing armor or something like that, like, hey, is it all right if I put my hand on your shoulder just because like I don't want to make sure like your armor's not gonna fall apart? Because I'm pretty sure I've had that happen with actually Anime Fest where my armor kept going out with the Velcro. So just be mindful and respectful because sometimes they're, not to make a pun, but like their cosplays are literally hanging on by a thread. So I'm sure we've all been there at some point. So but yeah, any questions before we move on to the next subject? Anything? What's up?
You have a question?
Yes.
No, man, don't be shy,
What
man.
Actually,
Go for it.
like your favorite anime, actually.
Me?
Yes.
What's my favorite anime?
Yes.
That's a question I never get asked.
It's a good question.
It is a good question. I would actually, it's a tie, like, between three. Like, I gotta give Dragon Ball Z credit, because that's where I started, And then there's my Naruto, like, that's where I first became a weeaboo. And and then One Punch Man, like, you can't get any better than a character explaining their entire arc and then him just be like, make it like 2 minutes or shorter. Like, I was dead. Like, it was so good. So One Punch Man is probably like in the top 3.
I've only seen like one episode of that.
Don't talk to me like that. Don't say those things to me. It's so good.
Yeah.
There's only 10 episodes. What are you waiting for?
Season 2. Season 2. That's what I'm waiting on.
Right.
Satama back there is probably gonna beat me up for not watching the show. So. It's just like, hey, after the paddle, I'm gonna catch you outside. But yeah, what was the next topic I was gonna bring? I'm sorry, I got off track by anime. It is anime convention, so
Right.
Definitely the next topic, I actually kind of forgot to, that was my fault. But, kind of going back to the sensitive topic of like, dealing with stuff at a convention, you definitely want to support your fellow cosplayer, convention goer, whoever. If you see them going through something bad, you definitely want to be there just to lend a helping hand. Especially if you're yourself going through a bad time, talk it out with somebody, and like, hey, like if you're not busy, like I got a guy going on, if you can help me. I know with me personally, because I deal with anxiety, that gets really tough sometimes because it just can have a crippling grip on you and like you can be a completely different person than what you normally are. How many of you guys deal with anxiety or social anxiety for any reason? Or, for any kind? Yeah, see, that's the other thing too. Like a lot of people don't realize how common it is than we think. We think, oh, something's wrong with me. And then myself too, like I thought like, man, I must be some kind of like weirdo if I'm dealing with this on my own. But my own mother deals with depression, anxiety as well. And a lot of people just don't realize all it takes is just to talk to somebody, and you can definitely like not only help yourself but help the other person too, because they may be going through something too, and they're kind of afraid to talk about it. Sometimes it just takes that one person to do that. So definitely one of my convention tips is, reach out to somebody, or at least go with friends. Hey, I'm having a bad day. Can we do something else or step to the side, and all kinds of stuff. So you got any?
Yeah, actually, even just kind of building off what he said, even if it's someone that you don't know, if you see them sitting by themselves and they look kind of sad, just take a long time to just go up and be like, hey, you okay? That, can be the difference between someone having the worst con experience they've ever had and having the best con experience. So I definitely, I'm like, whenever I see people sitting by themselves and like they look like they're not having fun, I'm the type of person that'll just go up and sit next to someone like, oh, hey, how's it going? I'm William, nice to meet you. Like, how you enjoying the con, and make a friend, So never, if you see someone sitting by themselves, don't just like gloss over it, just give them a check-in. It doesn't take long. And if they're like, oh, can I talk to you about this? Like, just give them that open space, like give them your attention, and you never know, you might have found the best friend of your life. So
yeah, I think a lot of friendships have happened. Were actually in San Japan 3 years ago with. I mean, it's crazy how I remember all this stuff.
So long ago now.
Yeah, 2014. That was like I know it doesn't seem like long for me. It seems like forever ago, but I remember Joe. He was actually wearing because of them. I actually got this cosplay because I fell in love with their work. He was actually wearing the green version of this, and I had something similar at the time. And it was just by another commission maker, and I think the one person I was with, they kind of split off and did their own thing. But I always loved like taking pictures with people or like talking to people and whatnot. So they were very kind enough to let me hang out with them for like the remainder of the day. And I remember too, I was like, man, I should have got like their contact information. Like I got very, very lucky. I ended up going to Delta H that year, which they were from Houston, and went up. Happened to run into you again. So it's just it's always cool to make friends, especially like in kind of difficult times like that. Another thing you definitely want to do is if you need to like just aside from like talking to somebody, if you need to just like step away for a second, like go outside and take a breather. It's like, the convention's still going to be there for the remainder of the weekend. It's sometimes it can get overwhelming, especially like if you're not used to like being in crowds of people. Your mental health is very important. Take care of yourself first before above anything else. So.
For sure. One thing I wanted to kind of speak on, going back to the no one owns a character. I see a lot of when there's the same type of character in the same area, someone will get upset. Like they'll like, like that person is cosplaying this person too, kind of like what I spoke about earlier. But I saw a post on Facebook that actually makes me really smile. It's like, I think it was actually a drawing of like two promptos, and it was like, same cosplay, and like they hug and like take a picture, and I'm like, that's exactly what cosplay is supposed to be. It's like, you both love the character, enjoy it together, So if you see someone cosplaying the same as you, don't be afraid to just go up and be like, yeah, let's take pictures together, let's form a little group. That's honestly how all of the big major groups that you hear about, the 501st, the 150th, I don't know, whatever. But anyway, like that's how those form, is because those like-minded cosplayers, they're like, oh, you're from the same universe as me, or you're cosplaying the same thing as me. Awesome, let's form a group. That's how you make the best of friends. So definitely don't feel annoyed or angered that someone's cosplaying the same as you, because honestly, if it's a popular thing, there's gonna be multiple cosplays.
Yeah.
And the way that I like to look at it is, whenever I see another version of a character that I'm doing, I'm like, oh, multiverse version, yeah, like, let's, it's the alternate universe, or like, hey, you're me from this universe, and it usually goes over really well, so.
Yeah, and this shouldn't even have to be said, but unfortunately, because there's a lot of stuff like that goes on day to day, be respectful of other people's fandoms. Just because it's from something that you don't like or stuff like that, like don't go up and purposely try to cause somebody to have a bad day or anything like that. It's just be respectful of that. If you don't happen to like that fandom, cool, but don't go out and try to go out of your way to make somebody feel miserable about whether it's whatever fandom it may be. Just don't. You definitely don't want to do that. I see, like, I hate to even say this, but like I hate. I've seen people like, hey, there's too many diva cosplayers, or there's too many Attack on Titan cosplay, or there's too many like
Too many
what does
assassin
it-
cosplayers.
What does it even matter? Is it physically hurting you that it's sapping your life force? Like, oh, another my soul is being sucked. You know, it's just
Maybe it is. You don't know me.
witchcraft. Anyway. But seriously, no offense to anybody that practices witchcraft. Don't cast a spell on me, but you know. But seriously, like just be mindful of that and whatnot. So, gotta take a breather here.
You guys have any questions like so far? Like,
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
What's the most obscure cosplay you've ever seen?
Man, I gotta think about that. I could probably actually look at my phone and try to probably find it because I have all
I got you.
I have all the conventions that I've been through from 2013 till now, all saved in my phone. Like,
I got
all the
you.
albums, so.
Most
Go ahead,
obscure
go ahead.
cosplay I've seen is the chicken from Chicken Attack. The Autotune the News people, they released a song called Chicken Attack, and it's amazing. And at A-Fest, I saw someone cosplaying as the chicken, and I was like, that is the greatest thing ever. Like, because I knew what it was, but not a lot of people would know, and I was just like, I appreciate that because it's actually something that I wanted to cosplay as well. So seeing it done was great, but.
You know,
Go ahead, sorry.
no, you're good. I was trying to think. It's kind of hard to. It's really hard to think of. Mainly because I'll say things something obscure. Because like I'm very big on retro. Like I grew up with Super Nintendo, Genesis, and stuff like that. I can probably remember the first obscure thing I ever saw was probably a Chrono from Chrono Trigger. That was like in 2015. Yeah, exactly. That's like one of my favorite RPGs of all time. But now I can't really say it's obscure because today I've seen a Chrono, I've seen a Maro, I've seen a Luca. Especially over the past couple years, I've seen like so many of those. Man, dude, I guess that probably the closest thing I'll ever see, maybe obscure, that I've seen every once in a while, which I guess doesn't really make it obscure, but you know, you don't see a lot of, is alternate skins of characters from Super Smash Brothers. Like, I think my favorite of that was probably like Marth from Fire Emblem, but he was like in the full white armor.
Nice.
Like, that was really cool. So, and that's just what's really cool too, because like, you know, especially if you're such a big fan of something obscure or something old school. You know, last year we did a Tenchi Muyo group. I didn't think anybody would remember that anime, honestly, because that was probably the first anime I ever, one of the first animes I ever saw back in, 2001. And like, we had like 4 people recognize us, and I would have been okay with just one. Like, it was definitely pretty crazy.
Another one of the most obscure cosplays I ever saw was Jake from State Farm.
Khakis.
Yeah, and I put that actually in my cos plans recently, and my friend's like, you should be Jerome from State Farm, and I'm like, oh yes, oh yes, that's gonna happen. So one day when I get the supplies, Jerome from State Farm will be there. But definitely the most obscure. I was just like, why is that guy? Because they always have the State Farm people actually at the con, but this guy was cosplaying Jake from State Farm. Like, all right.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
It's not really a question. I just want to speak this into existence.
Yeah.
We was talking about like how we saw Pickle Rick and all that kind of stuff down there. Like we were talking about how we want to see someone do Pickle Rick as Piccolo and Gohan as Morty.
Oh my god.
That's probably the best idea.
Oh my god. So, when are you guys doing that? Like,
San Japan 2018? Actually, I got a question for you guys, because now we're talking about cosplay, positive vibes. I'm loving the discussion, really. What are some of y'all's dream cosplays?
I was just telling him, like, you're gonna be crazy. Have someone come in as Rick with like a crew of like a minimum like 15 people, and they all be Unity.
Do who? I'm sorry.
Be Unity.
Unity.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, go ahead. What's yours?
I really want to do Cyborg.
please.
I really don't want to.
Nobody ever cosplays Cyborg. I've seen like one person on my Facebook that does it. He's from California.
Most obscure cosplay.
If you cosplay Cyborg, I will be your Beast Boy.
Do it.
Okay, we just got a team. Booyah!
I saw some other hands go in the back. What's some dream cosplays? I thought I saw some hands.
Guts.
Wait,
Gus,
Gut.
Yes.
Oh, Gut from Berserk. Right.
Yes.
Yes.
Doing that next year.
There's not enough Berserk cosplays, I feel.
Yeah.
I was very minimal. those. Even like when I went to Chicago this past year, I went to Anime Central. That was
I want to see
So
all
jealous.
cuts. Yeah.
What's one of your dream cosplays?
Man,
Right.
sorry. It's hard for me to. Well, I would say I guess one of my dream cosplays is I still want to achieve that fitness goal. I know it doesn't make sense because it's essentially a homage to a real actor. Would be Fei Long from Super Street Fighter 2.
I like that.
So just because I can do the attack yells and all that. So.
I like that. Okay.
What about you?
One of my dream cosplays that I want to do is Khal Drogo. I'm gonna do that pretty soon. It's actually what I bought this wig. But I have a spin on it because I've never seen it done, and I think it'd be really cool. Khal Drogo as a White Walker.
Very nice.
Yes, right? Like that'd be so cool to see. I've never seen it done, so that's something that I'm gonna be working on pretty soon.
I'd like to do a full leather Sylvanas.
Ooh,
Do it.
we need to talk.
So, I think one other one I forgot about, like, because it's maybe just because I guess I don't really consider a dream cosplay a cosplay I wanted to do for so long. Would it be the original '90s Superboy from Death and Return of Superman? I'm not really much into like haircuts and stuff, but like I would get in trouble at work just to have that nice
Yes.
face on the side. So.
Yes, please.
But what about y'all? Any other dream cosplays? I'd love to hear them. So go ahead. Oh yeah, that's always a
Ooh,
good
I like
choice.
And everybody said that we flip it for them.
Yeah, definitely do it.
I think that's a great idea. One of my dream cosplays, I say dream because I'm still working out the logistics of it, but I kind of want to do Barack Obama. I'm not kidding. I want to do Barack Obama. I actually, on the way here, I was doing live stream videos of my trip, and I ordered food as Obama. And, I went to McDonald's and I was like, "Oh, do you have a 2 spicy McChickens?" And then, and so I got up to the window and I go, "Do you have any of those milkshakes? But the ones without the boys in the yard." The lady was like, "No."
You gotta get Joe Biden, right?
They come with
Do
points.
the rest of this panel with that impersonation.
You want me to do the rest of the panel as well? Okay, I'll allow it. I can do that. I'll do it.
Yeah. Aside from that, do you guys have any other questions? Go ahead, Justin.
Is he gonna have Joe Biden with him?
Yes, I will.
Thank you.
You're Joe Biden.
I
No,
can't
you're
do
Joe
it.
Biden.
I'll be the best Joe Biden. I just don't know how to do it.
You're already working on it. You're already doing great. Great, Joe. All you gotta do is be really fierce, make fun of Trump, and I'll try to rein you in.
It's like, can we still hang out after all this is over? Yes, Joe.
Oh, yes, Joe. My favorite one that I've seen so far has to be, it's like, it's text at first and then it's like a gif of Joe, and it's like, Trump goes, within the next 8 years, it's like, did he just say 8? Joe, sit down. Nah. I'm like, bless you, Joe Biden.
Any other questions that we got, guys?
So when you gonna do Tagoro from Yu Yu Hakusho?
Wait, who, me? Or him?
Him or me? Me?
Yeah.
Which one is that? Like, what? I know Yu Yu Hakusho, but which one is the big buff guy?
Yeah.
So like, I don't know if you've seen me, but like I'm really like my cosplay name is Tiny Little Man. Like, like I'm really small. So maybe never. But I'll add it to my cosplans.
At least he's there.
I'll do some research. And oh wait, I'm supposed to do this as mama. I'll do some research. And I'll add it to my cosplans. Any other questions?
Have a Hiei and Karama here if you do.
Okay, I'll look into that. I'm looking forward to it.
I'd probably be the Hank Hill Kuwabara. Damn it, you're I'm gonna kick your ass.
Do that!
Oh man. I definitely probably have that beer gut for it. So San Japan was actually very nice to give us these DVDs to give out to you guys. So one of the first ideas I had was to do a very simple game of, I guess, pick a number between 1 and 50. I mean, I was totally unprepared because I checked into the panel and like, hey, do you want DVDs to give out? I'm like, I guess. Like, I don't know how I would give them out. So, yeah. Well, I will tell you what we do have. We have Project D, the initial D, 4th stage, Project D, Disc 2. That's a very
Race
long
car.
one.
Yes.
So, yeah, Disc 2. I guess this one wasn't good enough. So, we have Shonen Hollywood, Season 1. Save, Super Amazing. No, that's not it. What is this?
Let me see.
The Money of Control?
No, I think it is Save. No.
No, that's that's I was like, whoa, save? Like, there's a lot of saves here. Code Breaker, and we also have Kami-sama. Sorry, I keep laughing at that. Kami-sama Kiss, I guess.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, and we also have Birdie the Mighty Code. So
It's mighty.
yeah, so I guess we'll start with Birdie.
Okay.
So how many people do we got? How many? I'm sure all you guys want to participate, right? So 4, 8, 11, 12, 6. So we got 16 people here. Say it.
47.
47?
No.
18. Our guessing the number.
Wait, who said 18?
I said 18.
Oh, okay.
42.
You already said
Yeah,
42.
you said 42.
Okay.
No, I said yes.
Yes, 42.
No, that's not fun. 43 is not as fun.
What'd you say?
Which one, Abby?
Huh? No. What?
Wait, did you guess one or no?
43. I don't
Oh,
care.
42, okay. Positive vibes, don't yell at me.
Yeah.
All right, who's next? Justin,
21.
21.
No, I haven't been 21 in a few years.
I remember that age.
Right.
All right. Yes, sir, Dark Link.
24.
24. 25.
I was about to say, you know what's funnier than 24? 25.
All right. Yes, ma'am. Say? 25. Okay.
It's not 25.
All right. Anybody else?
You know what? Let me give him a hint.
Shout out a number.
I'll give you a hint.
Oh, go ahead. What was your guess?
31.
31.
No. I'll give you.
What's your name?
Scruffy.
Say?
Scruffy.
Scruffy.
I'll give you a hint. It has to do with President Obama.
You already guessed.
It's okay.
Yeah, you already guessed. I'm sorry. I'm trying to be fair here.
Who hasn't guessed yet?
Go ahead.
44.
44.
That is correct.
Very nice.
Where'd she win?
Come on down. You are the winner of The Price is Right.
This contest might be rigged.
I feel like we need to have like game show music.
I'm pretty sure Russia didn't help with that vote.
You look amazing, by the way.
I really wish I would have brought tuxedo mask now.
So when is I applied to the Sailor Scouts? You guys haven't got back to me yet. Is it you gonna?
Which sailor you want to be?
You know, like
Obama.
Sailor Obama, yeah.
Sailor Obama?
That's happening now.
I
Okay.
want that.
San Japan 2K18 Sailor Obama will happen.
All right. You want to do a different game for
Sure.
one of these?
Okay.
What you got?
I don't know.
What year did Jeremy start cosplaying this?
Wait, what?
It's like random trivia. I was like, what year did Jeremy start cosplaying
I was
this?
trying to think about some kind of trivia, but I'm trying to make. I'm trying to think.
He even said it earlier.
I have
We can do
a.
the pick a number thing again. I just want to kind of spice it up.
Let's see.
2013, right?
Do we have any Star Wars fans here?
Wait.
Okay.
Okay.
Do some trivia.
Let's see.
And the next one will be Disc 2. This one's not good.
This one probably feels.
We gotta play that.
All right, here we go. Let's see if you guys know your Star Wars as well as you think you know your Star Wars. Who is the person that Obi-Wan considered leaving the Jedi Order for?
Oh, that's
Duchess Sabine.
That is correct. Come on down. You are the winner of The Price is Right.
I was actually looking at my phone.
Congratulations. I love your cat ears. I don't know why I said it so creepy. I'm sorry. It was real creepy.
You want to do save next? All right, we'll do Shonen Hollywood. I'll do some trivia. Any retro junkies in here? One person. Oh, come on,
Do
that's
it
not fair.
anyways.
Yeah. All right.
I mean, I'm big on Supernatural.
Say again.
Okay. He said he's big on Supernatural.
Said retro, not Super Nintendo, not Supernatural. All right. I'm trying to think of a good question right now.
Everybody.
What was the name of Mario's first girlfriend?
Tina.
What's up? Perfect. Wow, you got it right.
I didn't actually know that. That's pretty awesome.
So, the first girl that Mario ever saved when he was in Donkey Kong was actually Pauline, his girlfriend in New York that he left for Princess Peach. Yeah, so,
Playing.
Well, I don't like Mario.
but she kind of like made some later appearances in like the Mario and Donkey Kong series for like Game Boy Advance. So
That's pretty awesome.
yeah,
All right. The next one is save.
you're in control.
Oh, yeah, that's what I said. Control. Yeah. All right. So, let's see. Any Doctor Who fans? Okay. Let's see. Let's see if you guys know this. Trying to think of a really, really good one. Make this a little difficult.
Who's the newest Doctor?
Nope. Let's see. What did David Tennant say to the alien about the human race when he first became the Doctor?
I don't want to go.
It's a very, very memorable quote. Go ahead.
From the day they arrive on the planet.
Come here. Yes.
And
You can use the mic. The mic's on.
okay, let's see if I can remember it, because I also live with a Lion King fan. So it's from the day they arrive on the planet and blinking step into the sun, there's more to see than can ever be seen, and more to do than can. Oh wait, that's the Lion King.
I was gonna say, like, seriously?
Perfect.
What?
Yeah, like that is the moment that David Tennant became my doctor. Is because I was like, I love the Lion King, like, and he referenced it, like. That was beautiful, thank you.
Okay, I got it.
Alright, my turn. I'm trying to think of something more popular.
You never get that.
Dragon Ball Z.
Power Rangers.
Power Ranger. I mean, I could do
Power
Power
Ranger.
Rangers. So, fun fact, and a lot of people are probably like, after they hear this, like, the last season I watched was Zeo, like, back in the 90s. Like,
What?
MMPR is like the only one that matters, right?
No, Dino Force, like, Tommy becomes the teacher.
That's true.
Ninja
So,
Storm.
5 minutes left. Can you do a whole lap around the room?
Can you?
No,
Why don't you
no,
have one
just-
for like? Why don't you have one for like applause? Like I need that.
Yeah. And boo.
Right?
Okay, I'm trying to think. I kind of do Power Rangers, but I'm trying to think of a good. Okay, I think I got one. In the Power Rangers Turbo movie, who became the new Ranger after Rocky got incapacitated?
I know it, I'm just not gonna say it.
Go
I
ahead.
think Billy? No,
No.
Billy was the original Blue Ranger.
I mean, you can guess, just your.
I already know who it is.
Well, then say it.
It's Justin.
All right.
That's you. Go get it.
Dude, I'm on camera.
He's trying himself.
You want Kami-sama Kiss or Code Breaker? Wow, you can't say that. You can't say that. It's not this panel.
Let's go for the one on the right.
Right, this? Oh. So which right? Like what's?
Oh, that's right, sorry, my bad.
Last one.
Hello, everyone.
I got that Blu-ray. Back up, I want it.
How many League of Legends fans do we have?
Hey.
Not a lot. Okay. How many Overwatch fans?
Yeah.
Still not a lot. Okay. How many Pokemon fans?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good amount. Okay, I got one for you then. Which was the first Pokemon that Ash had to leave behind? Yep.
I did.
Oh, that was.
That was, you know, I don't know what was wrong with me as a child, but when I watched the Pokemon movie, when Ash died, I laughed.
Wow, why would you?
I don't know why.
Wow.
I was like, it's kind of funny. Like, I don't know.
Justin, I guarantee that memes we made of my reaction, me going, wow. And then
We'll
after,
make it into a GIF.
yeah, making a GIF or a GIF.
Get out.
I don't know why. It just happened, okay? Like, he died, and I just bursted out laughing. Maybe it was like the nervous laughter, like, I don't know why they killed him off.
I can't understand death at this point.
Yeah, I was like, what? I don't know, like 8.
But why are they upset? All right, so we got 3 minutes left. Any questions at all that you guys have for us? Anything at all, you know? Go ahead. All right, go ahead, Darkley.
Actually, I just wanted to say thank you for coming up to me at IndyCon earlier this year to check if I was okay, because I actually wasn't feeling very good.
Oh well, man. Hey, I just try to look out for whoever I can, man. I appreciate the compliment for sure. And you had a question over here, sir, as well.
He's pointing at you, bro.
Oh, sorry. I lost train of thought. Go ahead.
Oh. But yeah. Thank you guys again for coming out. I really appreciate you guys, stopping and having fun with us at the panel. Yeah, if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask us outside the panel room. Also, if you want to join the Facebook group that I mentioned at the beginning of this panel called Come As You Are, just search for it. The group is closed, so nobody can see posts unless you're a member of the said group. So, like, anything you want to vent out, it's perfectly safe. It's between us. You know, it's definitely your safe haven. So, but yeah, we'll see you guys next time.
Are you guys ready for the best, panel leaving music ever?
Oh,
Yes.
Oh, please.
Mm-hmm. Sounds like a song.
Ready?
All right, let's go. No, but seriously, we should probably go.